Firstly, when you see a suprarenal gland or the adrenal gland, they are actually paired endocrine glands which are surrounded by a thick capsule, and they are lying on the upper pole or the superior pole of each kidney. Now when you grossly see the cut section of the adrenal gland, it has got an outer zone which is called as the cortex. It is lighter in color, yellowish, and it constitutes about 90% of the mass of the gland, while the inner zone, which is called as the medulla, is reddish in color, and it is contributing about 10% of the total mass of the gland. Now coming over to the histology of the adrenal gland, that it means that how the adrenal cortex appear under the microscope. You will first of all see an outer layer of the capsule, which is again made up of dense irregular connective tissue, which is sending in septa or the trabeculae, which are carrying blood vessels and nerves along with it. Now the adrenal cortex, it is divided into three zones, namely zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, and the zona reticularis. Each of the zone has derived its name from the particular arrangement of the cells which are forming that particular zone. Like zona glomerulosa is called as glomerulosa because the arrangement of the cell is sometimes in the form of an arch or sometimes in the rounded structure, like just like a glomerulus. So it has derived its name. Now coming over to the zona fasciculata, it is so named because of the arrangement of the cells in the form of closely packed cords, and in Latin language, fascicles means a small bundle. Then coming over to the zona reticularis, that why it is called as reticularis, again the arrangement of the cell in this zone is actually in the form of reticulum, that means a network. So each of the zone has derived its name from the arrangement of the cell in it. Coming towards the zona glomerulosa, it is actually the outermost zone. When you are seeing it in the microscope just underneath the capsule, it is constituting 15% of the cortical volume. And which hormone it secretes? It secretes mineralocorticoids and mainly aldosterone. Zona glomerulosa is composed of columnar or pyramidal shaped cells which have got a darkly staining spherical nucleus. The arrangement of the cell is as arched columns or rounded cluster of cells which are called as glomerulus. They are surrounded by fenestrated capillaries. Cells, they take up eosinophilic stain, and why do they appear acidophilic or eosinophilic? Because they contain extensive amount of smooth endoplasmic reticulum, numerous mitochondria, well-developed Golgi apparatus, and many lipid droplets. So please students, when you are seeing this slide, you must observe the amount that zone is contributing in the adrenal cortex, then which types of cells are present, and the arrangement of the cell. And you please write down also in your note copy the arrangement, the type of the cells, their staining, because these points will be the only difference when you are going to see the slide of adrenal cortex. Now coming over to the zona fasciculata, it is the thickest zone just present beneath the zona glomerulosa, and it is the thickest zone which constitute about 70 to 80% of the adrenal cortex volume. It secretes glucocorticoids and mainly cortisol. Now in zona fasciculata, the cells are large polyhedral cells. They contain a single spherical lightly staining nucleus, but some of the cells are binucleated also. The arrangement of the cell is in the form of long straight cords. that are one or two cell layer thick, and they are running at right angle to the surface of the gland. These cellular cords are separated by sinusoidal capillaries and fenestrated capillaries. The cell cytoplasm again show extensive smooth endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, well-developed Golgi apparatus, but they have got abundant lipid cells in them. And in some areas, rough endoplasmic reticulum is also present, so it gives a basophilic staining too. So you will differentiate the cells present in the zona glomerulosa and the fasciculata by the staining. In the zona glomerulosa, you will see more eosinophilic stained cells, while in the zona fasciculata, their arrangement is in the form of rods, and they will be taking up lighter staining because of the presence of large amount of lipid droplets in it. And in some area bluish, the area will also appear under the microscope, and that is because of the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So please note down these points also. Now coming over to the zona reticularis, it is the thinnest layer and the innermost layer of the adrenal cortex. It constitutes about 10% of the cortical volume. It secretes weak androgen hormones, which are mainly dihydroepiandrosterone. Now, what is the shape of the cell? The cells are rounded or polyhedral in shape, as cells are very smaller in size as compared to the other two zones, so they appear very closely packed together, and the arrangement of the cell is in the form of branching or anastomosing cords, and in between them are sinusoidal capillaries. The cytoplasm of the cell has abundant smooth endoplasmic reticulum and mitochondria and fat cells, but they are less in amount. So again it will appear pinkish in color, that is, it will be taking up the eosinophilic stain. Now the special feature of the zona reticularis is the presence of large quantity of lipofuscin granules, which can only be seen when they are stained with the special stains. Now, as we have done the histology of the adrenal cortex, we come towards the histology of the adrenal medulla. It is the innermost zone. It secretes catecholamines, which are epinephrine and norepinephrine, or the other name is adrenaline and noradrenaline. Cells are polyhedral in shape, and these cells are called as medullary cells because they are present in the adrenal medulla, but they have got an affinity for the chromium salt stains, so they are also called as chromaffin cells. So what is the arrangement of the cell? It is actually in the form of anastomosing cords, and in between them are sinusoidal capillaries. Cytoplasm of the cell shows numerous rough endoplasmic reticulum, abundant mitochondria, well-developed Golgi apparatus, and numerous membrane-bound granules, which actually secretes epinephrine and norepinephrine. So this completes the adrenal gland histology. Now how they appear under the microscope, you can see in my next slide. In this picture you can very well see that the outermost region is the capsule, and there is a subcapsular region. Now just below it is the particular arrangement of the cells, which is in the form of rounded glomerulus in between, and some of them are arched also. Then as you move inwards, you will see that the shape and the staining of the cells changes. In the upper region, that is in the zona glomerulosa, there you can see that the cells are pyramidal in shape or columnar in shape, while in the zona fasciculata they are in the form of cords and about 1 to 2 cell layer thick, and between them are the sinusoidal capillaries, and they are also lightly staining. The comparison, please note the comparison of the staining in the cells. This is the microscopic appearance. It is a high power magnification of adrenal medulla. You can see that the cells are polyhedral or rounded in shape, and they are, what is the arrangement? They are present in the form of anastomosing cords, and in between them the red areas or the red dots that you are seeing are because of the presence of the blood in the sinusoidal capillaries which are present in between them. And can you appreciate this staining? Here you are seeing more bluish staining, that is the basophilic staining. Why? Because of the presence of large amount of the rough endoplasmic reticulum in it. So all the layers of the adrenal gland, including the adrenal cortex and the adrenal medulla, the staining and the type and the shape of the cell along with their arrangement is very important to understand and identify this slide. Let's move forward. Now this is the microscopic picture of adrenal gland under low magnification. That is, you are going to see and in the exams under 10 power magnification. Can you very well see the outer region? That is the capsule, which is made up of dense irregular connective tissue. Just below it, about 15% of the area is being formed by the zona glomerulosa. The cells, can you see them in the presence? They are present in arched form or in the rounded glomerulus form. And as you move downwards, you can very well see the zona fasciculata, which is in the form of cords, long cords, and in between them is the space, which is because of the fenestrated and the sinusoidal capillaries. Then coming over to the innermost zone of the cortex, can you see the zona reticularis? The cells are again rounded or polyhedral in shape, and they are present in the form of anastomosing cords. And the innermost area where you can see the vein is actually the adrenal medulla, which is taking up the basophilic staining, and the cells are smaller in size and they are taking the basophilic staining. So when this slide comes in exam, you can very well identify it from the layers, staining and arrangement of the cells. How you are going to draw it, let's see in the next diagram. Now first of all, you will have to draw the capsule with the adipose tissue in it, and blood vessels in the trabeculae and vein also. Then coming over to the zona glomerulosa, you will have to draw these glomerulus appearing arrangement of the cell with a darkly staining nucleus, and in between them you will have to draw the fenestrated capillaries. Then coming to the zona fasciculata, can you see the cells? They are polyhedral in shape, they are large, and their centrally placed nucleus, and in between them there is the sinusoidal capillaries, and they are the columns of the vacuolated cells. Why vacuolated? Because of the abundance of the lipid droplets or the fat cells in this layer. Then coming over to the zona reticularis, you can see the anastomosing cords of cell with few pigments which are called as the lipofuscin pigments in them. Now coming over to the inner layer, it is the medulla, and you can see the medullary vein in it, sympathetic ganglia present in it, and the cells are smaller in size, polyhedral in shape, and they are taking up the slightly bluish staining. So this completes your histological appearance of the adrenal gland. As you will have to draw it in this, like this. This is another diagram. In this way you have to draw. Please, when you are drawing these diagrams, in between the areas you will have to draw the fenestrated capillaries or the sinusoidal capillaries. Now first of all, there is the capsule which is sending in septors or the trabeculae. You will have to draw blood vessel in it also, and the arrangement of the cell and darkly staining eosinophilic staining of the pyramidal shaped cells in the zona glomerulosa. In the zona fasciculata, You are seeing polyhedral cells which are 1 or 2 layers thick, and in between them there are the sinusoids, and they are taking a very light staining, light eosinophilic staining, because of the presence of the abundance of the fat cells in it. Then coming over to the zona reticularis, again there are sinusoidal capillaries in between the small polyhedral or rounded shaped cells which are arranged in the form of anastomosing cords, and they have got some pigmented cells in it which are actually the lipofuscin pigments. Then coming over to the adrenal medulla, you will have to again draw very small polyhedral or rounded shaped cells taking a basophilic staining, and in between them blood vessel and sympathetic ganglionic cells also. So you will have to draw a small diagram with all the layers very well defined, that is zona glomerulosa. When you are marking it 15%, zona fasciculata, please write down it is 70%, zona reticularis 10%, and write down the peculiar features of each zone in your note copy also along with the diagram, so that when this diagram should be completely well illustrated and well explanatory. Thank you for listening, and please, when you are drawing the diagram of the adrenal gland, please write down the features along with the each zone. And as I told you in this lecture also, you give the heading and then write down all the important characteristics of the cell, their arrangement, their staining, so that each of the zone is clearly well explained in your diagram. Thank you.